Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Maj, aka the Mop of Justice, bringing my PCL D-League Season 1 Week 9 Wi-Fi battle versus Alex Cool Rocket, coach of the Wisconsin Whimsicots. If you guys enjoy this, feel free to drop a like, comment, subscribe down below. Now, I've kind of taken a different approach to this. I've actually decided to actually throw a team builder into the very beginning of the video, just to be able to give a more in-depth look into my EVs and such, and just my overall thought process against building for Alex's team. So, his draft, he wound up drafting Darkrai, Rotom Wash, Buzzwole, Nidoqueen, Tangrowth, Chandelure, Mega Altaria, Skarmory, Kartana with Z moves. I forgot to put something there, but oh well. Gastrodon and Alolan Raichu with Z moves. Now, looking into just team preview, I noticed that Bolt Beam, he's fairly weak to Bolt Beam outside of like Rotom Wash, if I could get that chip down, as well as if I can try to deal with Gastrodon as soon as possible. It's going to open up the door for, as you guys are going to see, in my primary win con in this game. Oh, I did not mean to click that. I want that one. Okay. So basically, for the most part, I decided, so I'm just going to start off with an Expert Belt Weavile. Basically, the idea behind it is that he doesn't really have anything that switches into both Ice Cold Crash and Knockoff. His best switch it is Buzzwole, and obviously, as you guys can see, I'm packing the Aerial Ace for that. That's going to be able to cleanly hit that thing for a 2KO, if not an OHKO, if he's not a defensive variant. I got a feel that he might bring in a defensive variant against my team, because, I do, well, obviously Weavile is a massive threat to him, as well as it also helps him check a physical Meloetta, but, in any case, going into the next mon, I decided I pretty much needed to bring a Magnavolt Chople Magnezone with HP Fire, Volt Switch, Thunder Wave, and Flash Cannon. Chople Berry just basically gives me a really good check for Kartana. Because of the Chople Berry with my bulk, I can actually eat a neutral all-out pummeling. If he gets up to +2, it's kind of problematic, but I don't even know if it's necessarily going to come, just because of the number of Pursuit Trappers I have, plus Garchomp. Depending on the EV spread, can still take it on fairly well. Volt Switch and Flash Cannon were just nice for overall momentum, and Flash Cannon giving me something to hit the Mega Altaria. If he's, for whatever reason, is in a physical Earthquaking set, which I definitely think comes, but you know, it's just a case, basically. And then I couldn't think of a last move, so I just decided, you know what, let's, on the off chance that none of my other 3 moves are useful and I could somehow live a hit from something, then I could just throw off the yellow color, which can come in handy. Next up, I wound up bringing Flyinium Z Volcarona. Now, I know what you're thinking. Flyinium is kind of odd, considering the fact that he doesn't really have any Fly Weak except for Buzzwole, which obviously I could just Fiery Dance it easily. But basically, the idea behind this set is that I wasn't able to really bring any hazard removal this game. Spoilers, I don't have Defog on Lottie. So, basically, if he got up rocks, which I felt he could do very reliably with Skarmory, obviously Volcarona just absolutely loses half of its HP. So, the idea behind this set is this is basically going to be a dedicated lead. I'm just going to lead off with it, depending on what he leads off with. I'm either just going to blow my Z move or try to set up and try to put a dent into his team. Fire Radiance is nice for getting an additional special attack boost. Giga Drain gives me something to hit the Gastrodon. And then Z Hurricane at +1 actually guaranteed kills Altaria, unless it's like a max HP, max Spadef variant, which I don't think comes. I'm sorry if I'm a little under the weather, guys. But the Z Hurricane also gives me something to hit Chandelure, because obviously Flash Fire means that it's immune to my fire moves, and it resists the non-stab Giga Drain. So, Z Hurricane is basically for one or the other. My basic plan with this is I'm just going to lead off with it and try to put as much of a dent into this guy's team as possible, so that hopefully I can win late game with either Weavile, Lottie, as you guys are going to see, or even my Meloetta Pirouette. That's right, we're bringing Marta back. Meloetta Pirouette form. Basically, with this speed investment, I guaranteed outspeed a non-Scarf Darkrai. And all in all, Relixon, obviously I need to have Relixon so that I can transform. He doesn't really have any good switch-ins to the combination of Close Combat and Frustration. His best switch-in is the Skarmory, which if he goes Hard Scarm, I can easily just U-turn out into my Magnet Pull, Magnezone, trap it, and be able to, you know, kill it with a Volt Switch. Unless he's Shed Shell or Wakanberry, obviously. But I wound up hacking the Silk Scarf just because I'm, for the most part, going to be spamming Frustration against his team. It helps me deal with the Mega Altaria, which, unless he gets set up, obviously I outspeed him without a DD, and I can just get off a massive chunk, because Mega Altaria is actually a massive threat to this team. Next up, I wound up bringing a defensive Rocky Helmet Garchomp. Trying to remember what the EVs were for. I believe the speed investment guarantees that I outspeed Nidoqueen, and then the bulk helps me take on Buzzwole, while at the same time the 44 special attack investment means that I'm going to be able to do a metric fuck ton of damage to the Buzzwole. Obviously, if he goes for Ice Punch, I can actually eat an Ice Punch from full if he's like a defensive set. And obviously I'll be able to get Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin damage, and that will guarantee put him in range of my Flamethrower. Flamethrower also helps me deal with the Skarmory as well as the Tangrowth if it's not an Assault Vest variant, which I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I don't know what set he would bring against me, just because I don't really have too many physical attackers that I can check outside of the Garchomp, I guess. But I mean, Poison Jab is a thing as well. But and then Assault Vest just isn't as good. I guess it helps check Magnezone to an extent, but either way, I'm just gonna be packing Stealth Rock, Flamethrower, Earthquake, and Toxic. Flamethrower and Earthquake hits almost everything rocks, because if I could try to get some chip off of the Chandelure and the Altaria before Mega Evolves, the easier it's gonna be to deal with those. And then I just slapped on last move Toxic for Gastrodon and for Tangrowth to be potentially Assault Vest. And then the last one on the team is my Subcom Mine Mega Latios. I was running Max Speed Timid. What was I running Max Speed Timid for? Oh, right. It lets me outspeed Kartana. With my special attack investment, I can actually guarantee kill him with an Ice Beam without any Calm Mind boost, unless he's running the Timid Max HP set, which I don't think comes against me, just because there's nothing on my team he can really set up against. Yeah, basically everything just stops him. I guess the biggest problem would be Weavile, I guess, but I could easily just knock him off, try to figure out what set he is, or I could even Icicle Crash it prior, and then go for the Ice Shard chip. Oh, I hit my volume on accident. Oh well. And then I basically just dump the remaining into HP. Sub is primarily there to help me avoid like a random Toxic here and there from, let's say, Gastrodon or Rotom. It also, trying to think, it also kind of helped me stave off Shandy if I could get behind some, if I'm not able to get off a Calm Mind, if I could get behind him some. Unless he's running Infiltrator, which I highly doubt he breeds Infiltrator. I personally think that he bleeds a I'm good at words, guys. I personally think he would bring a Flash Fire variant against me, just because Volcarona is actually a massive threat to his team. If I could get the plays right, I might even be able to just sweep him hardcore from turn 1. But in any case, that's the team builder, guys, and you guys will see the battle momentarily. And we are back, guys. So, once again, or not once again, my bad. If you guys, for whatever reason, managed or decided to skip the team builder, just a quick breakdown of my team. I'm leading off with Volcarona no matter what. Depending on what he leads off with, I'm probably just gonna click Quiver Dance. Try to say that 5 times fast. I'm just gonna lead off with it, click Quiver Dance, and try to just get as much of a dent off of this team as possible. I'm ready. Chopple Berry, Magnezone helps me deal with the Skarmory, helps me deal with the Kartana, which for whatever reason didn't come, even though I definitely thought it had a really good matchup against me. I got Melomedapira with the Silk Scarf and Frustration, Expert Belt Aerial Ace, Weavile, a defensive tank Chomp with Flamethrower, and then a Subcom Mine Bolt Beam Megalodios. So, as you guys see, he brought the Darkrai, the Chandelure, the Mega Altaria, Skarmory, Buzzwole, and Gastrodon. Basically, once again, no matter what, I am leading off with my Volcarona. I'm going to try to get as much of a dent off this team as possible. And best of luck to Alex. And here we go. Alright, he's going to lead off with his Darkrai. At this point, I decide there's no way he's running Hypnosis or whatever. He does not want to stay in on this. I'm just going to go hard for Quiver Dance turn 1. He goes hard into his Chandelure, thinking this thing is an absolute counter to Scooter the Volcarona. I almost said Meloetta. No, this is a Volcarona. I'm going to get off the Quiver Dance, and little does he know, I'm going to fire off my Z move, my Supersonic Skystrike, Z Hurricane, and I'm going to be able to just get off a massive chunk. Unless he is some crazy Max HP, Max Spinef, Assault Vest, or Focus Sash set, this Chandelure is gone. So let's find out real quick. I fire off the Supersonic Skystrike, and Shandy goes down. So, boom! Volcarona gets killed right off the bat. He goes hard into Gastrodon. I'm thinking, this thing cannot do anything to me. This is screaming Rindoberry Miracle, so I'm just gonna make the hard read, and I go for another Quiver Dance. At this point, it's kind of like, you know what? Oh, alright, I'm getting a little excited. We're gonna go for the Fiery Dance. At this point, I'm +2 speed, +2 Spadov. I can very easily just take on his entire team at this point. He goes for the Skull, gets an unfortunate crit, and at this point, I cannot risk another crit. I have to fire off a Giga Drain, which we pop the Rindoberry. Let's see if we kill from this range. We do not. Did he click Scald, though? Or did he click Miracle? He fires off the Scald. He does not get the crit again, luckily. And I'm going to be able to freely pick this thing off of the Fiery Dance. Just try to get some more boost. Which, unfortunately, with my luck, I unfortunately don't get it. But, you know what, it's fine. He goes out into his Altaria. And at this point, I kind of made a bit of a misplay. I was like, there's a chance that Hurricane doesn't even knock this thing out, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna click Fiery Dance to try to put him in range. Oh wait, no, I'd go for Giga Drain, just to try to get some HP back. As you can see, that's not very effective. I don't really get much back, and he goes for the Aerial Ace, which is going to be able to knock out my Volcarona. So, looking at that investment, if I fired off a Hurricane that I connected, I think I just straight won at that point. But, you know what, it's alright, At least he didn't get a Dragon Dance off, so I can freely go on to my Weavile. And I think I just fire off an Icicle Crash at this point. Yeah, I fire off the icicle crashes. He goes hard into Buzzwole. Buzzwole, being absolutely freaking thick, takes a absolute crap ton. So this tells me that this is not a defensive variant, that this is definitely offensive, and I do not want to stay in because this thing might be Toy Scarf. He goes for the Leap to Life as I go hard into my guard chop, and as you guys see, I'm gonna be able to eat the hit pretty easily. Get some nice Rob Skim, some Rocky Helmet damage. We all good. We good. He's gonna double out to his Darkrai. I think at this point I just fire it off a Flamethrower because I did not want to fuck around with this Buzzwole. At that point, I think I could still somehow eat a... Or, no, I couldn't have eaten an Ice Punch. I don't know, whatever. At this point, he goes hard Darkrai, and at this point, I kind of had to pick a sack. I assume he'd go for a Dark Pulse. He just goes for the Ice Beam, which he then switches, which I thought was kind of odd. More on that later, as he decides to go hard Buzzwole on this behemoth of a Magnezone. As I fire off the Flash Cannon, which, thanks to Buzzwole's pathetic SPDF stat, Flash Cannon is easily going to be able to kill. He goes out into his Altaria. I knew that he was going for the Earthquake, but I could not risk doubling it out into my Latios on the off chance that he clicked a return or decided to try to set up a Dragon Dance, because if he set up a Dragon Dance, it was pretty much GG at this point. At this point, I go out into my Meloetta, because at this point, I outspeed it, and he goes hard into Darkrai as I fire off the Frustration. I didn't want to fire off a Relics on the off chance he stayed in click return. He's going to go for the Dark Pulse, which is going to do a ton. I managed to eat, but unfortunately he gets the flinch, and at this point I'm forced to sack Marta. But it's, oh well, we're going to be perfectly fine, because at this point I'm going to be able to safely bring out my Weavile. So that I could potentially force a speed tie with this thing. He goes hard into his Skarmory. I think I just went for the Ice Shard. Yeah, I went for the Ice Shard because, yeah, what am I saying? Screw speed ties. I didn't want to risk losing it. I decided at this point I'm just gonna go hard into Guard Chomp. He's gonna get up his rocks. It's whatever. It's fine. We're gonna be fine. He's gonna withdraw, goes out into his Altaria this time. As I just fire off a Flamethrower, get some chip. Get some nice chip. That did absolutely nothing. What am I talking about? At this point, I just decided my best play is I'm gonna have to sack this because he just clicks return and gets a kill. But somehow, I managed to actually outspeed it, and I'm able to get a decent chunk off with Earthquake as he fires off a Body Slam, which thanks to my Rough Skin and my Rocky Helmet, I am able to take out this Mega Altaria. So that's the biggest threat to my team, just gone. At this point, I'm kind of forced into a 50-50. Because, so basically, it's down to, I have Weavile and Mega Latios in the back. He has Darkrai and Skarmory, right? If I go out into Weavile and he goes Skarmory, I'm forced to switch because I can't do anything to it, and I need to keep Weavile around to check the Darkrai. Yes, I need to keep Weavile around to check the Darkrai. On the other hand, if I go out into Latios and he goes into Darkrai, then I'm in a bit of a pickle. So, luckily, I decide I'm just going to go out to Weavile. He goes out into Darkrai, and at this point, so now it's another 50-50, because do I Icicle Crash or actually, so I have two plays at this point. I can use Ice Shard to pick this thing off, get rid of it so that Latios can win, or do I go hard into Latios, predicting him to go hard into Skarmory? And at this point, what I decided was I'm just going to fire off an Ice Shard, because I do not want to fuck around with this Darkrai. And luckily, I get the 50-50. Ice Shard is going to easily be able to kill from this range, as he goes out to Skarmory. And at this point, I just decide I'm just going to try to knock off this thing, try to safely get in my Latios, not risking him to be like Toxic Wakan with Toxic Protect. I knock off his Shed Shell, so that's good that I sacked the Zone earlier, rather, because Zone obviously wouldn't have been able to deal with this thing. He's going to fire off an Ironhead, which somehow Weavile actually manages to eat. I decide I'm just going to go hard into my Latios, and I'm going to be able to put this Skarmory out of its misery. I just fire off a Thunderbolt, and at this point, yeah, that kills from this range. If he was max HP, max SpF, he actually lived, but obviously then I could have easily just clicked T-Bolt again, and that is a GG to my friend Alex Cool Rocket. Make sure you guys go check out his content down below, and more importantly, or I should say more importantly, with this win, this means that I have now officially clinched playoffs. Your Portland Crawdads are going into the playoffs this season. Let's go, boys and girls. This next week is actually going to be incredibly difficult. I was kind of hoping that I could mean through it, but you know what, it's whatever, because basically next week we're going to be taking on Platinum Howler, and forgive me, I'm going to try to say it right, but I'm probably going to butcher it. We're going to be taking on his Coquitlam Red Gyarados. Plat, I know you watch my videos, please tell me I said that right. But basically, and kind of basically at this point, just, alright, this is a little bit of spoilers of his video, so if you guys don't want to hear it, this is basically the end of the video, but spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, a little bit more than 5, but Plat won his game this week, which basically means he is 1 win behind me, but because of the way that the seedings work going into playoffs, so it's top 3 coaches in each of the conferences. At this point, Plat and I are facing off for the #1 seed. Whoever wins next week gets a bye going into playoffs. So at this point, you know, we have to go balls to the wall. I'm sorry, Plat, but I definitely want that bye. But in any case, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next week. Peace out, guys.